Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soundbooth Theater Live. My name is Justin Thomas James, and I am joined today by the fantastic Dave Willmarth. Go ahead and say hello, Dave.
Hey.
And Jeff's chair. This is Jeff's chair. It looks very comfortable. I don't know what the make is, but he's also got some foam in the corner, some purple foam. Oh, and there is Jeff himself. My goodness.
What's up, guys?
He arrives.
Not a whole lot. Welcome to Soundbooth Theater Live. I feel weird welcoming you.
I've always wanted to be on this show.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you on. And we're really excited today. Today we're going to be talking about Dave Willmarth's book that recently came out called The Land of the Undying. Nice. And it is a post-apocalyptic lit RPG. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the book, Dave?
Sure. So I kind of always wanted to do a zombie book, and I was getting a little burned out by the rapid fire Greystone books, so I decided to just experiment a little, and I had been thinking about all the ways that I've seen in zombie movies and read zombie books, all the ways that the world ends, all the excuses they had. And I was watching Science Channel one night late, and they were talking about strangelets, these theoretical particles called strangelets, and I was like, that would be an awesome way to cause the zombie apocalypse. So I just ran with it and started typing it out, and I came up with a sort of a balanced half of the book's in the real world where they're trying to not die from zombie attacks, and half the book is they're in the game. For Macy's in the game, trying to just not go crazy from being alone all the time, month after month, down in his little bunker that he's in. And then once Sherry joins him, they play it together as Mace has a plan that he can figure out how to upload their minds into the game permanently, because there's a limited survivability in their real world. They're just going to either run out of food, or one of them's going to get contaminated and killed, or both of them. So he's trying to upload them into the real world, into the game world, so that they can live for 100 years or however long the servers last before they shut down.
Right.
And that's basically.
And not have to worry about. Oh, I'm coming through on your speakers again.
Okay, let me turn you back down.
Yeah, they're not going to have to worry about being eaten by zombies, at least in the real world, anymore.
Right. They abandon their bodies in the pods. It'll get a little smelly in there, but their minds will be in the game, and they can. Almost everybody on Earth is dead, so they'll have the game world basically to themselves. And one of their missions is to try to find a few other survivors who might have A, lived through the zombie apocalypse, and B, figured out a way to be online and in the game. So
right.
There's a couple different storylines there.
And in the game world, they're known as Outworlders, right?
Yeah, Outworlders. I made a decision right at the beginning of the book to make it so that the NPCs or the citizens in the book are aware of Outworlders and the fact that they come from somewhere else, and when they die they respawn, and they actually use the Outworlders to support their daily lives, their economy, their getting their run quests for them and go fetch their lost dog or whatever. So the Outworld, or the NPCs in the game, are actually hoping that there are more Outworlders will come back and sort of boost up their economy again, because all the loot that the Outworlders were bringing in and selling to them is gone, and so they're not getting what they're used to.
That's really interesting that the economy is expecting Outworlders to be there to spend money, and then when they all disappear, the economy goes to shit. Like there's a number of bad factions. I don't know if this was intentional, but I noticed that there was a lot of highway robbery, literal highway robbery. There's slavers going around, and I wondered if without the Outworlders there to curb the flow of crime, if this world has become a bit more dark than the devs intended.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's just like if there was a zombie apocalypse in the real world, resources become limited and people start killing each other over what's left. And I try to make it as real as possible and try to imagine what it would be like. And of course, there's also, you know, some of the stuff in the underground city where Mace starts out, his starting zone is a Drow city, and that's just by their racial makeup. They're all killers. They kill each other constantly for no good reason. Just, you know, you got a pretty shiny thing in your hand. Let me have it. No, we cut your throat. Now it's mine. So, you know, it's I'm trying to, and this is again just the first book, so I'll be building more of the world as I go. But I tried to give it a good base. Jeff, you look bored.
Just listening.
Jeff, have you read into Land of the Undying much?
I have not yet. But I have been like checking out reviews and stuff and watching people get excited about it. There's a lot of Drizzt. How do you pronounce that name?
Drizzt?
Yeah.
Is it Drizzt?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either.
John.
Do you have Forgotten Realms books on that shelf behind you?
I actually might. This is a very small percentage of my books, but there might be a few back there somewhere. They're not in any particular order at the moment, but I have read them all. Devoured them all was more like it, but yes.
And you feel like you were inspired by Drizzt and the Forgotten Realms for the Undercity area?
Not by him so much. He's the first couple books I really liked him, but he got too into his head and too introspective over the long term. But I did really like the offshoots of the Underrealms and the Spider Queen books and some of those that talk about the what's the name of the city, Menzo Barazan or something like that.
I forgot about the relationship between drows and spiders. And so looking at your cover, I just kind of assumed that spider was about to ambush that motherfucker, but
it was.
It could be just okay. Well, I was like, is that just his pet or
that was a sneak attack.
Okay.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Be careful. It's cool actually. The spider, that particular spider, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but that particular spider, the way it sets up its web, I thought was really interesting. Instead of having it, strung out, across the area, it sets its web on the ground and has a main thread going across that while it's sleeping, it's got a foot on it, and then someone walks on it or something walks on it. They don't get stuck, but they're alerted.
It's basically just a tripwire. And so you step on it and keep going, don't even know it's there, and the spider comes up behind you and nails you. So,
there you go.
Yeah, it's no big spoiler there. It's a small battle, so
No, not a huge spoiler. Okay.
Yeah.
Happens in the first quarter of the book.
There's a lot of people in chat. Jake.
Yeah.
Goodrich, one of my buddies. How you doing, Buddha Cat?
Oh yeah, Buddha Cat.
Who else is here? Say hello in the comments. We got 10 viewers, so say hello and let us know you're here, and let us know if you've read the book.
Yeah, definitely want to know about that.
For sure.
Buddha Cat, which Buddha, I know you're somebody I know, and I can't remember who you are, but no, the pods don't keep them alive. If they don't come out of immersion every once in a while and eat, they will die.
So they're not life-sustaining, but if they are able to transfer their sentience into the game, it won't matter.
Right, they're just going to be a brain pattern in the AI system. They won't be physical presence anymore. Now, in the Greystone books, the pods do keep them alive, but I've modified them for this series.
Gotcha. Oh, it is a different world.
Oh, it's a different world completely?
Yeah, it's not Io, it's Elysia, right? Correct.
That's the in-game world, and the real world is a different world too.
Okay.
Cool.
That's what I was wondering.
All right, we got a few more people popping up in the chat. We got Mike the Bassist, who is a longtime friend from the Invictus stream. Hello, Mike. Always great to see you. We got Tyler Lewis. Oh yeah, he's already said hello. Hello, Tyler.
Tyler's Frank Black. That's okay. Good. Hey, Frank.
Frank Black. That's a really great, private eye maybe supernatural type
Well,
detective.
if you see his Facebook icon, he's got like a badass gunslinger dude with the cowboy hat on. It's pretty
really?
cool looking.
Frank Black.
Isn't Frank Black the Pixies guy?
The Pixies, like the band.
Yeah.
If this particular Frank Black is, he hasn't mentioned it.
To the Google machine.
Yeah, Google machine.
Like, wow, Frank Black, love your music.
He's here. He can speak up. Yes, he
Black.
says yes. He's the Pixies guy.
Yep.
Sweet. Truffle de Renzo.
Oh no, never mind.
No, he's not here.
He's not Frank Black, but
that
that
yeah,
is
no.
the Frank Black. Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, my mic is really low.
It is a little bit.
Maybe we can turn down, or
Let me make sure that my shit is on.
What's up, Truffle? How you doing?
It looks like.
And Rin Reagan just joined us.
Ren Reagan, another Invictus stream friend. Welcome, Ren. Good to see you. We're gonna be getting started on the narration very soon. Laurie, who's going to be narrating as well, will be here any minute. So once she gets here, boom, we're gonna jump into a sample narration. You guys will get a taste of The Land of the Undying by Dave Willmarth. And I think it's a cool scene we've got lined up.
How many
I'm
scenes?
excited to do that.
Well,
Well, we got a bunch of scenes. Yeah, I'll give you the numbers. For the opening scene, we're going to be doing pages 54, I believe.
Yeah, 54 through 56, I think.
Now
Yeah.
We have all the manuscripts in the drive, right?
Yes, we do. I can send you one if you like.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm doing it.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. Jeff, if you are able to take Mace's voice, I'll be doing the narration from Mace's perspective, and Laurie will be doing the narration from Sherry's perspective. I don't know why we're going over this now, because Laurie's not here. So
Yeah, she'll be here in a minute. I have faith.
I have faith too.
If she doesn't come, I'm gonna cry. Just
Jeff is going to cry. Laurie, if you're watching this and laughing, and just know that Jeff's feelings are on the line here.
Guys, she's not in chat, but wait, my mom's watching, so
Oh! Hello,
Should I-
Dave's mom.
should I just cry anyway then?
yes.
Cry anyway. Cry anyway. Show. This is the Jeff crying show.
You okay as far as feedback, Justin?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm not hearing it anymore at all.
Okay, good.
Jake Goodrich has a good point. Jeff does a good girl. Just let him do it. Laugh out loud. It's true, actually. Jeff has a very convincing girl voice. And so convincing that I was editing one of the audiobooks the other day that he'd narrated, and for some of the female voices, we had Annie Ellicott narrating some of the females, and at one point Annie was narrating one particular character, and there was one snippet of audio that was that character speaking, and Jeff filled it in, and I didn't even notice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Jeff just talking, trying to emulate Annie as best he could, and I didn't even hear it. And afterwards, he's like, "Did you hear anything funny about that scene?" And I was like, "Oh, let me go back."
Reverb off? Was the reverb off? I was like, no. Annie's line didn't get highlighted, so I filled in. But she's here now, so we got it switched out.
Jeff doesn't have to cry. Lord Catherine just joined us.
Right, cool.
Hey, Laurie! Oh,
You almost made me cry, Laurie.
well, she
was there.
She's like, oh wait, he's gonna cry. All right, I'm out. We gotta see this.
Laurie popped in there for a second, and then she disappeared, and now she's back. Hey!
There she is.
Hey, everybody, big round of applause for Laurie Catherine Winkel.
A weird button, and I had to. Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
Didn't we have a link to the YouTube so I can see what people are commenting, or is there a way to look at what people are commenting?
There's nobody here.
I'll get it for you real quick.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
send it to
There
me.
were
So,
like 5 people who said they were gonna come.
We got a good crowd here. We got a downright good crowd.
Good. Good. They better be
here's
good.
your link.
They are good. These are really good people.
So they were gonna come. What the?
There's a good crowd here. Oh, you're gonna have to turn down the volume.
Good. Good. Me? They better be good. I'm experiencing a weird delay.
These are really good people.
Did
You have to mute the
Someone's
YouTube
got
version.
their YouTube on. Oh, you're gonna have to turn down the volume.
I'm experiencing a weird delay.
Oh. Where's that coming from? All right.
There's a delay on the YouTube, so she's hearing it 5 seconds later.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
So I
Lori
muted
Catherine,
Laurie.
you
So, hey, Laurie, if you
can,
can hear me, mute the YouTube video.
She muted Google Chats instead.
Oh.
If you can, Laurie, if you can hear me, you can pop out the chat on YouTube and then just close it out, and the video is the same on Google Chats, so you won't get the echo.
Boom, 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 boom. Be asking questions. You've got to unmute yourself now. And here, what have I done? I've ruined everything.
Truffle says Jeff is still like he's whispering.
in church.
Whispering in church?
Okay, that is really crazy. I don't understand why.
It might be that
How's
we're
that?
just burning. That's
that
good.
better? That's really good.
That's nice and intimate.
Maybe I'll just do this the entire time.
Just drool on your mic all night.
So Laurie, okay, I'm going to problem solve with Laurie for a second. You guys chat.
Yeah, Laurie, you're
Okay.
still muted.
Okay, so what page are do you know what we're doing here?
He wants
Dave?
to start. He wants to start on page 54. Something about Mace checking his watch, I believe.
All right.
And it runs through page 56.
Does time matter in the post-apocalypse?
Does it drags when you're just sitting there looking at the same four walls for months at a time.
Mace looked at his watch.
Lord Catherine appears to be wrestling with her computer now.
Dude, she took some wrestling lessons recently. She did. She went to some bumfuck place.
Oh, I
in
muted.
Georgia.
Did I mute myself?
No,
There you
I
go.
muted you.
She's back.
We
Who muted me?
it was
It was me. I'm sorry.
he was
What,
punitive.
what kind of non-Bechtel passing? I mean, I'm just saying. What,
I'm sorry. Let me drink my vodka.
Laurie,
Hey,
tell us a little.
don't
Tell us a little bit about your wrestling experience.
Oh, so I'm starring in a movie called. Okay, if it looks like I'm too comfortable, it's because I'm actually traveling right now with my mom. She doesn't want me to do like a super fast. Whoop! That's my mom. Okay, bye. She's been on this.
Hi, Mom.
That
Bye.
looks really blurry.
I'm
Is that
really
like a skin condition or?
what? My sunburn?
Oh, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't even I spent like 20 minutes on the beach too. That's it.
It's from the car.
It's from the car. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, wrestling. So I'm starring in this movie, independent feature film called The Mark, where I play a pro wrestler. Sorry, I'm sitting.
Wow.
I gotta get it straight. There we go. I started wrestling training the other day, and we did some pretty advanced stuff. And made me feel like a total BA. But I took a body slam, and I did the landing properly for my back. So my back landed perfectly straight, which is what I was worried about. I was not worried about my feet. My feet landed first, so it went feet first, took all the impact, and then my back landed perfectly. My feet hurt a lot after that.
Oh man.
So I think I sprained one of my feet or something, but I was super psyched. It was so much fun, and I discovered I'm not that bad at it.
So are you going to be hitting people with chairs and jumping off the ropes and slamming people around?
Throwing
There's-
thumbtacks on the ground everywhere she
The
goes.
only thing about pro wrestling, it's that it's less fake than people think, and if I'm hitting somebody with a chair for a show, I'm probably hitting somebody with a chair.
Cool.
It's fun.
I don't want to try it, but I want to. See it
It was
now.
really fun. My body hurt very badly the next day.
You can hit me with a
I can
chair.
imagine.
Thank you.
That's a bonus of working with Soundbooth Theater. Is you get, how many times do we get to hit you with a chair for working for you, Jeff?
Well, it depends on context. Like, how entertaining will it be?
I see. It's about like,
If we get 5 comments asking to hit Jeff with a chair, I promise to honor that.
All right.
That'll take about 5 seconds. How fast can you guys type?
Like the
five individual comments.
I don't know who some of these people are. Jake.
Jake is gonna pay. Well, that we don't need the comments if someone's gonna pay for it.
Okay, we got one. Truffle Lorenzo. We got Dave. I'm not gonna count. We got Tyler.
Tyler says Laurie 316.
Let's count, but he already said so. Just 3 so far.
All right.
So far, I'm not sure if Dave counts. Go on.
Do you guys want to get to this narration or what?
I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, let's get to the narration.
Okay,
and
so
we'll find out at the end whether or not Jeff's going to get hit with a chair.
All right. So you're narrating this scene.
Well, it's going to switch back and forth between myself. I'm going to start out.
Oh, within the chapter.
Yeah, and then there's like kind of a scene break or a chapter break, and then we're going to jump to Laurie.
Okay.
And then there's going to be a conversation between Sherry and, is it pronounced Sherry, by the way, Dave?
Sherry.
Cherry.
Sherry, as in the drink, Sherry.
Sherry. Okay.
So Sherry, well, and
sorry.
Sherry.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so if I forget how to pronounce the name, I'll just think Frankie Valli.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come out tonight.
Wow.
The singing voice. Can you believe?
What a range.
So I'm going to be doing the first narration. Laurie's going to take over, and then Laurie's going to be Sherry's voice, and Jeff, my man's going to be playing Mace.
Do I have to? I mean, there's no other character. I don't have to do like a lot.
No, it's just Mace.
It's just
you're running the show. I'll do what you want.
I'm traveling. I'm not using my usual microphone. I could plug in a USB if people care. Otherwise, I could just read it.
Nah,
You sound fast.
All right, we're fine.
All right. You're good to take Mace, Jeff?
Yep.
Sweet. All right, let's do this. Mace looked at his watch and stepped away from his keyboard. Since lunch, he'd been working in the lab. He'd made a minor breakthrough and lost himself in the work. Hours had passed in what seemed like minutes. Only his growling stomach had alerted him of the hour. He headed to the kitchen and whipped up a quick dinner. Chicken and dumplings from a can heated in the microwave. When he'd cleaned up, he made his way back to his quarters with the intent of logging into the game. Partway there, he remembered that his armor wouldn't be ready until morning. Instead, he decided to make a check of the cameras, see if the creature that had been outside was hanging around. Sitting at the security desk, he grabbed the keyboard and pulled up the camera feeds. The one he'd used to watch the monsters fight from the lobby was still zoomed in on the street. All that was left of the losing zombie was a splattering of blood and a few fragments of flesh. It wouldn't take long for those to be consumed by insects or birds. The victor was nowhere to be seen. Mace zoomed the camera out, panning it back and forth. He wished there was audio to go with the picture. Still, he was thankful for these extra eyes. He set all the cameras on the building to motion detection and sat back to watch and wait. If anything within sight of the building moved, the cameras would tell him soon enough. He set the DVRs to record any movement so he could replay it later. He thought it likely that after consuming an entire fellow zombie, the creature would want a nap. If it were like most animals, it would find a nice, safe den to nap in. Mace hoped that the den was far away. While the cameras did their search, Mace looked at the radio, grimacing. The fact that one of the cameras had used the radio, or the fact that one of the creatures had used the radio, even by accident, bothered him. If they had any kind of ability to learn, or were beginning to recover their human intelligence, life was going to get nasty for him. His caution and their stupidity were the main things enabling him to survive these days. Mace decided to experiment. Picking up the microphone, he said, "You out there?
Monster dude?"
Sherry heard the man's voice come across the radio and froze.
"You there, monster dude?"
It had said.
"I know you're out there."
She nearly knocked over her candle in her haste to reach for the radio. She snatched it up and hit the talk button. Hello? There was silence on the other end for a solid 10 seconds, which to Sherry seemed like an eternity. Then the man's voice came back.
"You're not the monster."
Sherry didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "No, I am not. I'm Sherry, but I heard the monster yesterday." There was another shorter pause before he answered.
"Holy shit. You're really alive. A live person. Damn, I'm glad to hear your voice."
Sherry smiled at the radio, at the sincere tone of the man on the other end. "Same here. What's your name?"
"Mace. I'm Mace. Are you somewhere safe? The last folks I heard from made too much noise and got killed."
"I'm safe enough, and I'm being quiet. Is that what you were yelling about yesterday? Something about Katie?" The voice suddenly became sad.
"Yeah. I heard a call. Some kid said he and his sister were trapped in a firehouse. I heard the thing break through the door and attack, and then they went silent. Then the damn thing was talking on the radio, if you can call it that."
There was silence as Sherry tried to figure out appropriate words. He saved her the trouble.
I couldn't do anything to save them. He didn't know what station they were in, and the zombie was right there.
He sounded crushed.
Even if they'd been... Sorry.
Even if they'd been right next door, it doesn't sound like you could have saved them. Maybe killed the bastard that got them, but not saved them, Sherry offered. Mace's voice came back across.
"I think maybe I heard you yesterday. I was asleep. Something woke me up. By the time I got to the radio, it was the creature. But I thought I heard a voice. Was it you?"
Sherry nodded at the radio, as if Mace could see her. "Yeah, I found this radio yesterday morning. Tried it out. The zombie must have heard it and picked up the radio the kid dropped, or some other radio. Kind of creeped me out. Then I heard you yell at it. I tried to talk to you, but you were gone. Rage quit?" She heard him chuckle. Sorry.
Yeah, sort of. I was angry and scared. If these things learn to use tools like the radio, we're in deep shit.
Sherry's mouth dropped. She hadn't thought of that. Well, shit. Thanks for that. No sleep for me tonight. No chuckling this time.
Yeah. Sorry. So, listen. Where are you?
I'm in a truck stop, about 6 miles west of the capital, she replied.
6 miles. At that mega truck place? Damn. It's a long walk from here. I'm southwest of the city, maybe.
He paused, as if looking at a map.
Maybe 7 or 8 miles from you? I can try to get to you tomorrow. It's not safe to be out after dark.
Sherry smiled. Such a guy, she teased. I've got wheels, I can get to you.
Sweet. All the cars here are burnt out or out of gas. We got hit pretty hard. And there are zombies around. At least one really big one. I watched him eat another one yesterday.
Mace replied. Yeah, most of the big cities are pretty trashed. Are you safe where you are?
Underground facility. All the comforts of home. Even electricity. Plenty of room. There used to be a bunch of us. Now it's just me.
Sherry began to get excited. Electricity meant she could hook up a laptop. Okay, I'm not sure how much juice this radio has. Tell me how to get to you. I'll head over as soon as the sun's up. Mace's voice didn't answer right away. Then he said,
From where you are, head east on the interstate. Turn south on Highway 123. Go about 7 miles and you'll see a Safeway grocery store. I'll meet you there. And be careful. We ran into another group of survivors in the first week. They killed a few of us. I think the creatures got most of them. I haven't seen them since, but they might be listening.
Sherry's gut clenched. She had had her own run-in with desperate survivors. I hear ya. I'll watch my back. You do the same, Mace. I'll see you in the morning.
Sure. See you then. And, really nice to hear from you, Sherry.
Mace's voice sounded so relieved it was sad. Then he added, hesitantly,
If you can stay awake tonight, once you get here, you can sleep safely for a week.
Sherry wiped tears from her eyes. This man's concern for a stranger was touching. Yeah, I'm good. Had a nap this afternoon. Don't worry. Good night, Mace. She set the radio down and put her head in her hands, the emotion of the conversation nearly overwhelming her. To hear a friendly voice talk about a safe place after so long alone. She could tell from his voice that Mace felt the same. She thought maybe he'd been alone even longer than she had, and he'd lost friends, as she had. She wanted to run to Bertha and drive to him right then. The urge had her on her feet and moving toward her bag. Stop it, stupid. It's not safe out there. You don't even know where he is. You can't sit in Bertha outside a grocery store all night. You can't be sure you can trust him. She sat back down in the chair and replayed the conversation in her head. The bit about dangerous survivors terrified her. She'd survived the first week with her roommate, Sheila, mostly by hiding.
Hold on, you're going to start getting into another scene there. That's probably a good place to stop.
That is a good place to stop. Very nicely done. If I had an applause button, I would cue that up right now, but we're going to have to do it manually. Good job, guys.
That was good. Everybody clapped in the chat.
I think that scene paints a pretty good picture of the two characters' predicament in the real world, at least, being completely separated, and for a few weeks, Mace, both of them had been alone, and now hearing the voice of someone else, being that relieving, I can only imagine what that would be like. Do you want to mention anything about that scene there, Dave?
Yeah, so that's basically it. Mace has been alone underground, only coming out to grab food. Sherry's the badass of the two. She's been living outside among the zombies. Yeah, you seem like you like her, by the way, Laurie.
I do. Yeah, I have a soft spot for. Wait, this sounds like an oxymoron. But I have a soft spot for tough women.
There you go. So she's the shooter and the survivor, but this is obviously the prelude to them getting together and sharing the space. And it took a little while to get to this point, but I had to do some world building to make it a little believable. And then obviously the part that Laurie, do you like to be called Laurie or Laurie Catherine? Is it like the full-on Catholic Sister Mary Margaret kind of thing, or what?
I prefer to be called Laurie Catherine Winkel Esquire.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'll stick with Laurie Catherine. The part that Laurie Catherine was about to read is sort of a flashback to some survival issue that she had when it all first started. But again, I try to make the real world as hard on them as possible. It's not just zombies that are trying to kill them. It's everything. Everything's contaminated. The trees, the grass, potential food, even the water in places. So the survival's extremely difficult.
That's right. Even a fly could kill you.
Yeah, even a fly could kill. No spoilers there.
Rushing up thing.
Is there anything else?
No, just so Sherry's obviously a badass, and Laurie seems to be enjoying. She got a good handle on that. Mace is he's a coder, he's a geek guy just out of college, but he's not like super wimpy.
He's been holding his own.
And he can cook.
And he can cook just like me, amazingly.
Just like you,
all those
just put
recipes I
maple syrup on
experimented.
everything.
Yeah, I tested all those recipes myself in my own kitchen over the years, usually at 3 a.m., half drunk, but yeah.
Seriously, so there is actually, maybe we'll get to this later, but there was actually one recipe that I was curious about. Maybe I'll just talk about it now. This was on page, oh, it's further down, page 238. I'm just going to read a segment. I don't think there are any spoils here, or spoilers rather. What did I say, 238? Okay, yeah. Mace was amazed. Cake? How did you... I mean, we have flour and butter, but no eggs. He stopped talking as she grabbed a fork and dove it into the cake. She put a mouthful of the cakey goodness with still warm chocolate in her mouth.
I used pancake mix. Another experiment. Turns out you can bake it. This cake is really just one thick pancake with melted candy bars on top.
That line right there. This cake is just one really thick pancake with melted candy bars on top. Dave, is this one of those experimental recipes?
I did try that after I wrote it, and I had to. One of the things, the pancake mix they use is to just add water because they have no eggs, they have no milk, they have no, so it's the just add water pancakes, and I got to tell you, it didn't work well when I tried it, but a better chef might be able to pull that off. I don't know.
Are there any chefs watching now? Do you think that there's a way to do it? If there is, if you think there is, make it and send it to me because I want to try this, or just make a video of it.
Right.
So one of the reasons that I wanted to do this was I wanted to give anybody watching an idea of what this pre-production process can look like when you are preparing to create an audiobook. This project we've been working on, we just picked up the book just about a week ago, and we're going to be turning it into an audiobook with Soundbooth Theater. And I'm going to be narrating Mace's perspective. Laurie's going to be narrating Sherry's perspective. And there are a number of character voices in between, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of NPCs in Elysia. And one great thing to do before producing an audiobook is talking to the author about how they hear those character voices in their heads. And so we've got a lot of character voices. And so I thought we'd just go over a couple. We're going to brainstorm what they'll sound like in audio.
Yeah, so there are a few characters that hang in through the story. There are a few characters that just have a line or two, or they're in and out in a single scene or two scenes. So those are not such a big deal. But you guys that are in chat, feel free to comment, especially those of you who've already read the book on as we go and sort of establish the voices. Feel free to speak up. You can maybe come up with a better idea than we have.
Exactly. Hope to see lots of comments. I thought that it'd be good to start with the Drow, because the Drow play quite a large role in this book. And if you don't know what a Drow is, Dave, could you explain it for anybody who isn't quite sure?
I had to look it up.
Laurie.
I remember, Laurie, Catherine, you were reading a Drow character a few months ago for another book, and I sent you some information on them because I was already writing this book at the time, so I already had it up. But that's funny.
I'm new to the GameLit world, so
yeah,
I played games. I've been a gamer in the past, but I wouldn't say that I'm deep in the lore of it. So I have to have stuff explained to me, and I always want to kind of do justice to it and to not make the fans listen and go, what is this girl on?
Well, just don't admit it. Don't admit it too often because you're losing your gamer cred when you do that. So just kind of trying to fake it.
He's like, be cool.
So Drow are dark elves, and in this particular world, there are light elves, which are, human-sized elves that you see in movies, etc. And then there are dark elves, which are living underground all the time. They have whole cities. They're a whole. Somebody's looking up images of Drow over there. I see that.
Yeah, this for anybody who doesn't know.
There you go. There's a good picture. So they can see in the dark. They can move silently. They can fade into the shadows. They have good hearing because they're elves and they have those big pointy Spock ear things going on. But they're in Dungeons and Dragons terms. They're probably chaotic evil. They'll kill you for no good reason. Sorry.
Just like me.
Yeah, just like you. They'll kill you. So in the game, the Drow was not a popular race because it was hard. It wasn't like a new zone in a human city where everybody's giving you easy quests and they're helping you level up and you run around killing fluffy bunnies and everything's easy. In the Drow world, they give you a quest, you got to go out and kill stuff. When you bring back the quest, they might kill you and take whatever you were supposed to bring them, and you lose a level. So Mace originally played this to be sort of antisocial. Before the end of the world happened, he just wasn't interested in hanging out with people, and he just wanted to, there's some bonuses to playing the harder starter zones. You get better gear, you level up faster, but it's harder. So the Drow are generally sneaky, murderous, mean, and smart.
Sneaky, murderous, mean, and smart. And Laurie added, like Laurie.
Like
Laurie.
Bio for me. If you look on the Soundbooth website, you will find an identical bio for myself.
That's right. What is it? Murderous, treacherous, smart, mean. As a narrator.
I will get you to bring me stuff, and then I'll kill you.
So there you go. Now you got a picture of what a Drow is, the kind of setting that they live in, and now, let us know what do you think a Drow would sound like, and why? And the reason, part of what inspired this episode of Soundbooth Theater was that I was thinking about it, and I was like, Drow, like for example, there's all of these fantasy races, Drow, Orc, whatever. These aren't races that we have in the real world that I know of. And their environment, I can imagine, would shape how they would sound. So for Drow, just to start things off, you picture this underground setting where everything's dark and everyone's trying to stab you in the back. And I think actually there is one line in there, Dave, where your ability to be silent can mean life or death,
right?
In the underdark, if that's appropriate. And so, like for speech, when a Drow is talking, one thing, like Dave actually pointed out that they have like a sign language. There's a sign language in the book that these Drow will use, which obviously isn't going to be coming across over the audiobook.
Right.
But yes,
there you go,
Jeff is demonstrating how to record sign language over an audiobook.
You've got it down.
Yes.
Actually, if my sister's watching, Janet, please speak up. She's a sign language translator. Jeff might have just said something. So Janet, if he actually said anything right there, let us know.
But with that, like,
my burrito is on fire. Where is the bathroom?
Wow. When it made me think, and Laurie, maybe you know a little bit about this too. When you're on the stage, there's like a stage whisper, which I looked up as actually pretending to whisper while you're on stage. But then I also learned when I was doing a little theater in high school that when you are backstage and you don't want to be heard, you shouldn't pronounce S's. You should really maybe try to cut down on the S's. They actually suggest that you should replace S's with a th sound, which would sound ridiculous if we did that for all of the badass Drows. But this is the sort of thing that I was kind of like, how would a Drow sound? What would shape
Holy shit.
sound?
I mean, wait.
Holy
yeah. Yeah. So actually, in the chat, Jake's come up with a couple. He says Krieger's voice should be a little gravelly. The Masters. I think you meant Krieger.
Yeah.
Nathan.
Are Drow are female also, right? They're male or female, or are they gender?
There is a Drow female working at the tavern that he stays at. There is another one farther in the book up on the surface that has a bunch of lines that he fights with.
Yeah. Drow are antisocial, and Truffle has always visualized them as a whispery, gravelly voice, as if they don't talk much.
Mhm.
Yeah. Whispers. Any ideas, Jeff?
Well, honestly, what I was thinking is like low and smooth and kind of
Talk very slowly.
m-
I mean, very slowly.
maybe not super slowly, but creepily, I guess. Just
Yeah.
in control, sort of.
Well, calculated is really.
Yeah, calculated.
They take their time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these
Well,
Not slowly like stupid. Slowly like
Right.
they know they don't need to.
Yeah.
They're not.
Well,
all the Drow other than Mace are potentially thousands of years old, especially Krieger and Jervis, the two masters. So they're experienced, and they are going to have a sort of a cultured tone to them, just like light elves would.
Yeah, because they've got kind of a nobility system.
Yeah.
They do.
I like the gravelly suggestion too, though. But it would be like more of like deep in the throat kind of gravel instead of up here, like more back here.
Well, I want to give you a chance to try this out. I've got a scene here on page 21. It's about halfway down the page.
All right.
And we're going to start with Mace fumbled. And I'll narrate this. Do you want to take Swordmaster Krieger so you can try this gravelly drow voice out?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I will do so.
All right. So here we go. You're going to be playing Krieger, and I'll take Mace and narration. Mace fumbled one of the bottles from the bag and pulled the cork. He poured a bit of the potion directly onto the Swordmaster's mangled chest, then tilted the rest into his mouth. The dark elf laid his head back and closed his eyes. Mace's gut clenched in fear. How powerful must this drow be to think nothing of closing his eyes in the presence of a stranger, especially while wounded so badly? The older drow chuckled.
If you meant to kill me, you'd have done so before healing me. What is your name, boy?
Mace's voice was barely a whisper. Mace, Swordmaster. Mesent, Swordmaster, but most call me Mace.
Well, Mace, I am Swordmaster Krieger, and I owe you a debt. This damned traitor wizard was better than I'd been led to believe. My overconfidence nearly cost me my life. Remember that, boy. Any battle, even with a lesser opponent, can be lost if you underestimate your enemy.
And I think that gives you guys a good example. You think, Dave?
I like it. Maybe just a little bit faster because he's a warrior. He's a soldier, and soldiers tend to speak in faster, clipped language. But I like the tone a lot.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
One more. Oh, go ahead.
I was
you go
going to say I could do the paragraph again with that direction.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Mace, I am Swordmaster Krieger, and I owe you a debt. This damned traitor wizard was better than I'd been led to believe. My overconfidence nearly cost me my life. Remember that, boy. Any battle, even with a lesser opponent, can be lost if you underestimate your enemy.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sorry,
I was distracted. I was distracted by Laurie Catherine saying she's eating nuts. That's just not fair.
Somebody was. Don't be distracted. I was hungry because I'm on vacation with my mom, and we just had a really awful dinner. So she tossed me a bag of nuts.
We got some hazelnuts or peanuts.
They are sugared almonds.
Ooh,
Quick energy.
So long.
they look
Protein
delicious.
and sugar.
All right, everybody on the stream, we want to hear from you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how delicious do those sweetened almonds look?
I'm glad you phrased that way.
Okay, so I also wanted to point out one last thing. You named the Underdark or the Drow city Imennacht, which in German is
basically eternally dark or always dark.
What?
Eternally dark, always dark. So I was wondering, do these Drow have a bit of a German accent? It's a horrible German accent, but I could sometimes get to it.
I am not opposed to that. I like language. I lived in Germany when I was a kid, and I learned some German. I also learned some Italian and Spanish and a bunch of other languages. And I tend to use names and terms like the spell names that he uses are all usually Latin based. But getting an echo.
We got an echo. I think on Laurie.
I didn't do anything. What did I do?
It might be that our volume is too loud on your computer.
By now.
Let's try it. A little bit, yeah.
Earlier, while we were reading, my neighbors, I mean, we're in an Airbnb, but our upstairs neighbors sounded like they were training circus animals up there or something. I wasn't sure if you guys could hear, but like, goodness.
No,
is it better now? Still hearing an echo?
Yeah. Is your phone? Are you using a phone or laptop or what?
I'm using my tablet, but I will put it on the airplane and see what happens.
What?
Now that the file is already downloaded. All right, it's on airplane mode now.
Oh, okay. I think it's okay. Nope.
No, that didn't make a difference.
I didn't do anything.
Soundbooth Theater, now in stereo.
You guys attacked me.
Hey, we always produce in stereo.
It's true. I'm going to put you on mute, Laurie. Let's see if you can do that. I'm going to set it up. If you have headphones, that'll work.
Okay, I'll try that.
Earbuds.
All right. So why don't we get to the next? I've got a few questions for Dave based on my pre-read. First of all, there weren't any pronunciations, or there weren't any instances of this in the book, but the pronunciation for Duergar, I don't think there were any characters that were Duergar.
It's Duergar.
Isn't that the dark dwarves?
Yeah, they're dark dwarves.
Oh, they are.
Gray
okay,
dwarves.
Perfect.
So
Gray
it's Duergar.
Duergar. Okay, that was one pronunciation I wanted to look up. So anybody who didn't know that, now you do.
Oh, she got them damn
headphone there.
Yeah, she got them earbuds in there.
You can unmute yourself there, Laurie, Catherine, Winkel there. Over there.
How about there?
Oh, that's she.
All right.
Are we getting better there now?
That's better. Oh, I can hear you.
No mo.
So this is the voice we're gonna do for the Grey Dwarves now, either. Eh?
Tyler said Gwar dwarves. That would be awesome.
Gwar. I would love to see Gwar in concert.
Me too. You know, the lead singer died?
I do know that. My sister went and saw them right before he died, and she got some of the fake blood in her mouth, and she was sick for like a week.
Oh, yeah.
And we thought about it, and we were like, they probably just keep it in storage on tour. Dude. It's probably like months old.
Those are some dirty fuckers.
Been riding around for 10,000 miles in the back of a hot semi-trailer.
Her tickets were free though, so worth it.
I seriously would have auditioned for his job though, had I known it was available.
What is Gwar?
You've never listened to Gwar or seen a Gwar movie?
Dear listeners, please explain Gwar.
Yes, so, I will read it.
Yes, Dave.
If you take the hardest core metal that you've ever heard, and then double it and add freaky costumes and makeup and
lots of theatricality.
Yeah.
Effigies of the least popular political figures of the year.
Okay. Yeah. This is a very tame way to describe these people. They also shoot fake blood and beer and fake cum and like fake everything all over everybody. And in their concerts, and they sing like the lyrics are the most vile, ridiculous things you could possibly imagine.
Can you
Yeah.
understand the lyrics when you listen to them?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually not that heavy of metal, and until very recently they got heavy. But like throughout their entire musical career, which I think they've been around for like 30 years, maybe. It's been a very
What were they before? Soft rock?
Not necessarily soft, just
In the
I'd say
80s, we
like,
called it thrash metal, but
well, I'd say nowadays they're more like thrash metal, but back then I'd say they were more on a level with like Alice Cooper as far as the hardness of their.
I don't know if Alice Cooper has any cred left because he starred in NBC's Jesus Christ Superstar, so. And he was great.
Jesus Christ.
He was very funny.
Superstar.
He played Herod. He played King Herod. So he had one solo, but he was like top billed. So.
I would like to. I'd like to get back to narrating. I'll definitely check out this one. It sounds really exciting.
Just real quick, I got a text from my sister Jeff. You did not sign anything naughty.
No.
Nice.
Wait. Well, I don't know what that means actually.
When you were signing before, you did not sign anything naughty.
Is she watching?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Signing. I was like, I haven't messed with a contract.
Is your sister?
She can't talk in chat, so she'll have to text me whatever it is you're saying. But I'll be sure and let you know when she does.
All right. Well, we'll wait on that. I want to try Laurie here. We're going to go to the next example, which is going to be a female orc. Let's figure out what a female orc should sound like. What's that?
What page are we on?
Oh, this is going to be 201.
This is a female orc. She's going to be 6-7 feet tall, bulky, gravelly. Tough.
I actually think it'd be kind of funny if Jeff narrated the female orc, but I will go for it otherwise. So.
Well, we can hear both. We can do a who wore it best, so to speak.
Okay.
So yeah, well let's
Does she have any sort of accents? You guys think?
That's up to you, Dave.
None in particular. She's a monster class.
I'm pretty sure most of the viewers know what an orc is, but I'm going to bring up female orc. Don't worry, I have safe search on. And I'm going to.
If you guys don't know what an orc is, though, I'm shocked you're in this chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome here. I'm just surprised.
So this is what we got for female orc. This is a good portrait. This is.
It looks like she's quite an underbite. So I kind of want to. Yeah.
If you've seen
definitely underbite that shit.
If you've seen the Warcraft movie, Garona is a female orc.
Garona. There you go. Jug.
Do they all have underbites?
Yes.
I think
They all have tusks. Yeah.
Ooh.
Would they have a lisp of the tusks? No.
All right.
She's like a hot orc.
Yeah.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Look, not every female monster has to be hot. Okay, I think orcs are ugly, and that's.
Well, I mean, she's hot by human standards, but for other orcs, they probably look at her like, "Oh, you look like human." All right.
She's only got like 3 warts on her face.
Yeah, exactly. Not enough warts for pigeon.
Warts good for texture.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, I think she's getting into the act. She's getting ready. We are going to start on page 201, and I'm going to start from they reached the section of town. And there is one line at the bottom of this paragraph, if you want to take it. Jeff, I believe this is the captain of the town speaking, right? An ogre?
Oh, okay.
Verga, this is Mace, an outworlder who has agreed to help us.
I'm an ogre. Okay.
You're an ogre. And everybody knows what an ogre sounds like, so we don't have to brainstorm that.
Yep.
All right. They reached the section of the town that was set back farthest from the gate. The area had fewer buildings, but it was clear that expansion was moving to fill in the space. The captain approached a half-finished log house, inside of which stood a well-muscled female orc with a leather tool belt around her waist.
Virga, this is Mace, an outworlder who has agreed to help us get things done around here. He's willing to work if we give him a bit of training.
Virga looked Mace up and down.
Not good for lifting much. How are you with your hands?
Mace grinned. Taking a step back, his hands became a blur as he produced 2 knives. Holding them up in front of him, he began to spin them around and through his fingers. He kept them spinning as he moved his hands apart in spirals, still twirling the knives. Then, just as quickly as he produced them, he made the knives disappear. The whole thing lasted maybe 8 seconds. Virga had actually smiled during the display.
Right. Finish work then. Better that way anyway. We have lots of lunkheads who can lift heavy things. Half of them can't swing a hammer and hit a nail without crushing a thumb. Come with me.
And that...
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to get into it there.
Can refine it a little bit. I'll refine it a little bit. By refine, I mean not refine.
I'm curious to hear what the audience was thinking. What do we got? What kind of notes do we have on female orc voices? We're still on war dwarves rather.
Truffles suggested the lisp. Ian says the yell and gravel voices.
Do ogres sound like pirates?
A bit slower.
No, you did fine.
Yeah, that's a female orc. Do you want another stab at it, Laurie?
Sure.
How far can you underbite?
All right.
And you touch your nose with your bottom lip.
You can get over the tongue.
If I do it from this perspective, it looks like I am.
Ooh, that's true.
Right.
She's
If I get this deep, though, I'm worried that you can't tell what I'm saying if I get that deep. I'm like,
Right. Work then.
People have to like raise the pitch on their
Not good for lifting
pitch
much.
on your audiobook now.
She's 2 seconds away from going Hulk smash.
Yeah.
Smash.
Don't do it. That's an Airbnb. You'll have to pay a
Not good for
deposit.
lifting much.
This is great. This is great method acting. I think before we get into like actually narrating this audiobook, you should just act like that. Like go
Accurate.
full Daniel Day-Lewis on this one orc character.
I need to spend like months underground, just like eating raw animals.
There you go. Living in a cave.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. Okay. All
Truffle
right.
says put chopsticks in your mouth when you're trying to do it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I don't have chopsticks, but I can try with my fingers. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Finish work then.
Oh, should I do it the other way?
Oh yeah. Like, stick your fingers in there.
Better that way anyway.
I'm so saving.
Okay, here we go. So Laurie's definitely ready.
I already started.
Oh, you already started? Oh, okay.
Why can't this be the drinking podcast? Because I haven't had enough for this. I hope you guys have had enough for this.
Let's go straight from your line.
Good idea, though.
Straight from right.
Right. Finish work then. Better that way anyway.
This is the part where she laughs in the middle of
You
the
lost your lunkheads, you can hear three things.
Good. Yeah.
That's
Good. She's getting all of the subtext where Dave didn't write this in, but all of the laughing and covering her mouth, that's all in here.
So it's as the author intended. So.
Exactly, yes.
I'm really torn here because the video with the fingers is awesome, but it's a little hard to understand. So.
That was my
No, your first attempt was...
All right. Jeff's turning this into a drinking with Charles.
Oh, yeah, just like that. There's
All
booze.
I have is white wine.
This is my
Yes,
favorite Irish
that
whiskey
works.
ever.
What's it called?
Napog Castle. Napog Castle.
Napo
14 year.
Napo Castle.
Is that Naprog with an R?
Say again?
Ian says, funny is good.
Well, Jeff's got his drink. I say we move on. I was planning on making this an hour, but I feel like going longer. You guys stay as long as you like.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, I'm having fun too.
So
There's one voice that I'd like to hear Laurie's take on. That's the cat woman that sells him minks.
Okay.
Right,
And that's probably a page that's earlier on a little bit, right?
Yeah, her name's Felina.
Felina.
Hold on, I'll do a.
Whoever finds it first can tell me what page it is, because I can't search on my
Around 93.
software. 93?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay.
So who is this? What do we have in terms of this character here?
So
She's
Felina's.
fun.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I want to hear from the author. I think she's like a sexier, she's a more seductive character.
Sexy.
Purring undertone.
That's how you want to do it. That's fine with me. No, she's literally a cat woman. She's a beastkin, which are people that assume the form of cats, dogs, turtles, whatever. So she is basically half cat. She's got the body of a cat, but walks on two legs like a person, and she's got a really unusual. She draws out her S's and she basically purrs while she talks. So I mean, it's sort of an unusual accent. That's kind of why I wanted to test it out.
When I was reading it in my head, I started thinking of like a Russian. I could not hear it with a Russian accent, but like not like a full Russian accent, but like an implied sort of Russian accent.
Go for it.
I could see that.
Whatever.
Russian girls are the sexiest.
I do have a picture up for anybody. Is this similar to what you're talking about, Dave?
That is very close enough. Yes,
She's got a weave and everything.
She's got a weave.
She's busty. She's a busty one.
Yes.
That weave looks expensive.
It was. It was very expensive. It was
something
14 gold pieces.
Weave's something you've been researching, Jeff?
Maybe.
Just
Maybe I'm
trying
not
to sport the
satisfied with my
dreadlocks.
hair. You thought of that?
So okay, so what should
white
this
woman
person
hair.
sound like? You said like draws out.
This
the
is
S's,
a tough one. This is a really tough one.
maybe a little Russian. Any suggestions from the audience? What do we got for Laurie here?
Okay, Laurie, I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Go Russian, except when you roll your R's, instead of a Russian R, do a French R.
You French. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh
Ian
yeah.
Ian says Skyrim cat people, but Laurie's
No.
not a big gamer. So
That's the rhotic uvular trill. If anybody wanted to know, which you didn't care, but I know it anyway.
Rhotic uvular.
Let me write this down.
Is it RHO?
I think so. Rotic.
Oh, rhotic.
The
Rhotic.
IPA
Rhotic.
symbol is like a backwards upside down R.
Can you do a backwards one?
All right. Am I French?
It's
definitely be taken place.
switching really rapidly between you guys going, oh. It's really disturbing. I'm
Good.
scared right now.
I think
There's a
we're all.
rapid cut between each man going, oh. I was like, oh.
I think we all got this rhotic uvula trill down. Let's go to the scene, and let's see how Laurie takes this. So we're gonna go from 93. He found an alchemist's booth. Okay.
Okay.
He found an alchemist's booth where he purchased a few spell components and a couple of healing potions. A jewel merchant had an earring with +2 intellect for 10 gold. A weaponsmith had a beautiful set of slender black metal daggers that sorely tempted Mace. Oh, what was that?
Sorry, I was still doing it.
But he held off, distracted by a Rhodic uvular trill.
That's not going to be there.
Deciding to wait and see what Kriegersmith had to offer. Mace was leaving the market when a vendor near the outer edge caught his attention.
Sir Dark Elf, wait, I have the perfect item for you.
That works so nicely on that R.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, very well.
Perfect.
Mace had heard the same phrase 100 times walking through the market, but this time the voice was soft, sort of sultry, with a purring undertone. He turned to find that the voice belonged to a lovely catwoman with silver fur. She wore tight-fitting leather armor that amounted to a little more than a fancy bikini, and squeezed parts of her in just the right way. And we have a visual here.
I was like, I hear a real cat. What is that? Wasn't me.
That was
If your cat's wearing a leather bikini, I'm leaving.
No, she's not wearing it. It's too cold.
That's actually just our very expensive Foley.
Oh my goodness! Look out!
This-
That's our Foley artist.
This is her in cat form. Okay, all right, lady. You made your appearance. You diva. Get on with it. All right, and back to, where was I? Fancy bikini, and squeezed parts of her in just the right way. She waved for Mace to approach.
Ah, good. You come to see what Felina has to offer, yes.
She smiled at him, showing off impressive feline fangs.
I know just what you need.
She purred. Yeah, I'll keep going. Mace began to think maybe that she was selling was more of a service than an item, and he had to admit to himself he was a little intrigued. Felina held up a finger, indicating he should wait. She stepped through a gap in the curtain and fell to her booth, then reappeared holding a bamboo cage. Dome-shaped and about 2 feet tall, it looked like the type of cage one would find a parrot sleeping in. It appeared to be empty.
This be a Galago.
Felina purred at him.
She would be a perfect companion for a dark elf, yes. One who maybe sneaks around in the dark a bit.
She smiled again. Noting the confused look on Mace's face, she glanced from him to the cage.
Ah, I seize. Or rather, you don't seize.
The cat laugh. Her cat laugh sounded almost as if she were coughing up a hairball.
Some of that white wine.
One moment. She be shy.
And scene. Hey.
Nice. Very nice.
Perfect.
No, is the cat laugh meant to be? Is the cat laugh meant to be sexy? Or?
Yeah.
Probably like an interruption of the sexy.
I think
so. Maybe.
You're giving me a boner until you do that. And then they're like, oh god.
It is very wonderful.
Tickle fights.
Perhaps you and I can.
Very subtle.
Your cat is really into this.
She is. She thinks that you're one of hers. One of her kind.
I am, yeah. Actually, as part of my method training for this, I spent a few months alone in just a cat pen, just living as one of them. You know, I bathed only with my tongue, so it's pretty gross, but you know.
Hey, but anything to get into the role. Exactly.
Right.
A lot of people don't know this.
My art, you know.
Exactly. It paid off because as soon as you started talking, you summoned the cat. So
I think the cat just wants to see your weave.
Yes. The cat loves weaves. She's always meowing for more weaves. I want to.
Weaves.
I think we're very confident that Laurie will be able to do that. No problem.
Yeah, that was.
Fantastic, Laurie. I want to hear Jeff do it.
Oh, you want to hear
Jeff do it?
Do you not?
So
Are you down, Jeff?
If you want me to.
All right, let's try this. I think the people want to
I want to
hear
hear
what
it.
All right.
Jeff would do. Let's see. So let's just start. Mace was leaving the market. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Mace was leaving the market when a vendor near the outer edge caught his attention.
Sir Dark Elf, wait. I have the perfect item for you.
Mace,
Nice.
Mace had heard the same phrase 100 times walking through the market, but this time the voice was soft, sort of sultry, with a purring undertone. He turned to find that the voice belonged to a lovely catwoman with silver fur. She wore tight-fitting leather armor and amounted to little more than a fancy bikini and squeezed parts of her in just the right way. She waved for Mace to approach.
Oh, good. You come to see what Felina has to offer, yes?
She smiled at him, showing off impressive feline fangs.
I know just what you need.
She purred. Mace began to think maybe that she was selling more. What she was selling was more of a service than an item, and he had to admit to himself he was a bit intrigued. Felina held up a finger, indicating he should wait. She stepped through the gap in a curtain at the back of her booth, then reappeared holding a bamboo cage. Dome-shaped and about 2 feet tall, it looked like the type of cage one would find a parrot sleeping in. It appeared to be empty.
This Biegalago.
Felina purred at him.
She would be perfect companion for a dark elf, yes? One who maybe sneaks about in the dark a bit.
She smiled again, noting the confused look on Mace's face. She glanced from him to the cage.
Ah, I sees. Or rather, you don't sees?
There you go. That was good.
Her cat laugh sounded almost as if she were coughing up a hairball.
One moment. One moment. She be shy.
Hey.
that cat laugh, the hairball laugh was really good. That was a good choice.
Thank you. But I think Laurie definitely is a cat lady to me.
Oh yeah.
You're a solid substitute though. If I'm like sick or something,
okay.
We need.
I just like to hear variety. I mean, interesting. But awesome, both of you. Let's see what the people are saying. More French. Oh, that's Laurie. Laurie's
me.
Wow. Hello, Laurie Catherine Winkel.
Please.
Hi, I'm a big fan.
Frank's ready to hit Jeff with a chair again. I'm not sure if that was because of the French accent or not that odd, but that might be the fifth vote right there.
Just sort of a general desire.
What did people do?
I mean, it can be arranged.
Let's do it.
Next time I'm in Kansas City, I'll take care of it.
I'm down.
With your consent, Jeff, I'd like to hit you with a chair.
I'm down. Do this.
Sweet. Well, I guess you're gonna have to tune in next week.
Thank you, Truffle. Thank you.
This happen. Great. Well, there we go. We've got the cat voice. Dave.
Cat voice. Ogre.
Do we have any like questions from our watchers? Any like
why don't
comments, questions, concerns, requests to hit Jeff with stuff?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Do you want to see me get hit by anything?
No.
That's true. Maybe you hit Jeff with a chair, I hit you with a chair, and Jeff hits me with a chair.
Yeah.
At the same time,
like in a reality show.
Yeah.
It's not in chat, but my mom has texted me several times saying Lord Catherine's adorable, and you did that voice perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave's mom. She's my biggest fan.
she is now.
Well, let's see. Do we have anything from the audience? Do you guys want to?
You too, Janet.
Anything that you guys want to know about the book? Any questions you might have for Dave? Have you read The Land of the Undying? I think at this point we might be going into some plugs, reaching the end of our voice brainstorming. Unless there's any more voices that you want to hear before we move
on.
Any more characters? I forgot to look at the list.
Maybe Arlon, the druid master.
Tyler had a question.
Oh, Tyler. Okay.
So Tyler asks, so when you're doing dialogue between Mace and Sherry, how do you decide when to say Sherry said or Mace said instead of just speaking their voice? I'm not sure I fully understand. Are you asking for the author or the narrator?
Thank you. So I'm carrying on like a whole other conversation.
I think this might be a question for
when you're narrating. It's just if one person's doing dialogue, it's anything that's part of the conversation, almost like if you're watching a scene in a film or something. You wouldn't say Laurie said.
Yeah. So when I write it,
also crazy. So
when I write it, there's identifiers on there, obviously for the readers, so they can distinguish between them. There we go, the sign language again. But yeah, the narrators can always feel free, because it is a little bit of an immersion break when, for example, Justin's narrating and then Laurie does a line and Justin has to come back and say Sherry said, or whatever. So they can feel free to just eliminate that if it's clear. Obviously, when you have a male-female conversation and it's clear who's saying what, you can eliminate the he said, she said off you don't have to read it word for word.
That's a good point.
But also,
I
something
hadn't considered that.
You guys don't know is that Sin, I think it's Sin that does it for you guys, but somebody goes through the manuscript and color codes all the dialogue so that the narrators can quickly know who's saying what.
But actually for this one, Sin's taking the manuscript and reformatting it to almost a radio drama look. And she'll be actively taking out certain dialogue tags that just to clean things up a little bit, and to make things easier for us all to read. There's going to be character direction and stuff at the beginning of each chapter, and so it's going to be even easier for us to deal with. We're trying to figure out a good process for all of us to do this smoothly, and to reduce, to make it a more efficient process. So
yeah,
guys, I'm gonna go because I'm still on vacation here with my mom.
Okay. All right. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you,
everybody who came and listened. Bye,
Thanks
guys.
Bye. That was a great question, Tyler Lewis or Frank Black. Thank you for that. Yeah. So at this point, I'm not
black like Barry White. I'm white like Frank Black is.
I'm not black. Oh yeah. I don't know if I can wrap my head around that.
It's a Bloodhound Gang lyric.
Oh, okay. Cool. Bloodhound Gang. Is that rap? Is that the rap?
Yep. Isn't it Bloodhound Gang? I think it's Bloodhound Gang.
So we're going to move into some plugs.
Okay.
And I'm going to, I don't know if he's watching. I don't know if he's going to see it. But I told, oh, we lost Dave. Anyway, I told Charles that, Charles Dean, that is, that if he would like, he is welcome to join us for the plugs portion of the show. Let's see if I can pull him up here on Le Facebook. Is there anything you wanted to mention about Soundbooth Theater? You can start the plugs, Jeff.
Well, first of all, everybody needs to go pick up Cherry Blossom Girls on audio. Harmon Cooper wrote an amazing new meta as fuck GameLit sort of thing, and we jumped on it as soon as we possibly could. Justin, Mr. Justin here, who I'm talking
that's
about.
me.
That's
me.
him. Oh. He did the narration, but we have everybody in the SBT crew doing voices. So we have Annie Ellicott doing Grace's voice. We have Laurie doing Veronique's voice. I so wish she had a French accent, because I know Laurie's got a good French accent, but whatever. It is what it is. And I play the villain Angel. I only got like one chapter in book one, but book two, apparently he's supposed to be more important. But anyway, we are going to be producing Cherry Blossom Girls 2 very soon. Oh, Dave's back. But definitely pick up book one. It's amazing. Actually, you know, Justin did a lot of production work as well, and I'm really proud of everybody on the team for putting this together. And I don't know. I feel like dreams are coming true right now.
Sweet.
Audiobook, this audiobook business is becoming more and more fun. And we're getting authors from all over the place that keep calling us up now. You know, they want to work with us. We're looking more and more enticing compared to the bigger guys. Just because it's more fun, right? Like you can either sign your book away to some publishers that are going to do a good job, you know, but it's going to be an audiobook like you always hear, you know.
Yeah. And it's
yeah,
very disconnected too. I just want to add that I don't know how much the narrators working for some of the companies really work with the authors to. I like something like this, like where we've got Dave here on, you know, Google Hangouts, and we're chatting about the book. It's a much more disconnected process, I think, with more of the mainstream producers, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, having worked with them before, you know, they've got a really efficient process, you know, and it's important for them. Like they don't really encourage the narrator to interact with the author a lot, because for them it's like it just gums up the works. And I guess I can see that perspective. If efficiency is your goal, then yeah, you know, maybe just trust the narrator, let them do their thing, and just get it done and out the door. You know, this is a low profit margin business, but excuse me, the more indie an outfit is, the less profit margins are narrow. You know, we have a small team, we have almost no overhead. You know, so we have the play, we have the room to experiment and make our productions more rich and more dynamic and more textured. So
pushing that envelope,
man. Trying to have more fun with it and do things like this. I mean, I love hanging out with authors, especially Dave. Dave's like quickly become one of my big favorites to work with.
Thank you, sir.
Good old Dave.
And like, you know, being able to talk to them, like, because what I really love about authors is how passionate they are about their work and about the characters they've created. And I like being able to present them with a product that they're like, wow, this is somewhat close to what I was imagining in my own head. Whereas with an audiobook produced by the trad publishers, you know, they do a good job. They really do. They have everyone's very professional in that world and very, very corporate. That's the thing, you know, like you sacrifice something, in my opinion, something magical when you try and get too efficient.
Are we going to become corporate one day, Jeff?
No,
when we start making millions upon billions of dollars?
That's not going to happen.
Thank you, Jeff, for that marvelous plug. And now we move to Dave. Dave, do you have any plugs? Anything you want to shout
out? Sure. Obviously, you know, you guys may have mentioned it while I was in limbo there, but Soundbooth did book one for Greystone and audiobook, and people seem to be enjoying it, and hopefully more of you will listen to it and know there's no glab in it.
There's no glab.
And no Space Raptors truffle. Yeah, Fibble. There's lots of Fibble. Laurie Catherine does Fibble's voice, and it's pretty awesome. Jeff, they were even nice enough to make a clip for me to put on the website.
Laurie's Fibble is adorable.
It is.
Yes. Laurie narrated the Greystone Chronicles. I did all the male characters. So yeah, you guys definitely check it out. It's, I mean, if you look on Audible, if you look at the ratings and the reviews, they speak for themselves. You know, everyone's
people do seem to be liking it, and
so happy with it. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll do the rest of the books coming up after we finish this Dark Elf book and just keep the chain going.
Yep.
Obviously, if you haven't read the Dark Elf book yet, please go do so. It's a good book. I like it. I had fun writing it, and Always, all the Greystone books are out there available on Kindle Unlimited and ebook as well.
Yeah. Greystone
Also,
and Land of the Undying.
for those of you that are watching this right now, just for you, especially for you, if you want to send me a paperback of one of the Greystone books or the Dark Elf book, message me and I'll give you an address to send it to, and I will sign it and send it back to you.
What? That's sweet.
It's very sweet.
That's awesome. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna buy one just for that.
Awesome.
So yeah, check out Greystone. Check out
Cherry Blossom.
Cherry Blossom Girls. Check out Land of the Undying, and message Dave to get his address. And lastly,
don't send bombs.
It's a PO and whatever you want.
No bombs. Just for requests of the book,
yeah.
Preferably, or like you want to send them some whiskey or something. That's cool too. I think.
I think he'd
Yeah,
like some.
absolutely.
Probably. Lastly,
wild turkey or something. Don't send that.
A live wild turkey. That could be kind of cool. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, right. I'm talking about the whiskey.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha.
Janet, you'll get all yours signed. Don't worry. Janet is my sister. She gets the very first, as soon as I put up a paperback book, the minute that it becomes available, I order a copy for my sister. So she gets the very first print copy of every book that I do. She's the keeper of the originals.
The keeper of the originals. Does she keep them? Does she keep them like displayed in like a glass case?
Nah, they're probably like under her sofa or something. But
Shackles.
And lastly, I just want to plug. Unfortunately, Charles Dean couldn't join us for the end there, but check out Charles. Check out Charles's show, Drinking with Charles. It is a hoot, a nanny. I will venture to say.
Dave and I are regulars on the Charles Drinking with Charles show.
Yes, unfortunately, we misbehave regularly on the internet.
Dave recently sent me a batch of Cards Against Humanity, so I'll be able to more legitimately participate in those kinds of games when we play on Drinking with Charles. So
oh god,
yeah, keep an eye out. Go check. Just search Charles Dean on YouTube. You'll find his YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. Please subscribe to our channel. Soundbooth Theater Live.
Subscribe, like the video. It's a very, very small thing that really, really, really helps us out. So if you're able to do that, that'd be great. Again, check out Dave Willmarth's other books, Greystone and Land of the Undying. Check out Cherry Blossom Girls audiobook and Harmon Cooper, the author. Check out War Eternus, Bathrobe Night, Charles Dean, man. Like all that shit. Get that stuff. Read some books. Talk to us. Send us messages. And have a great night. And whiskey. Drink whiskey and give it to us, please, too. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for joining. This is Soundbooth Theater Live. Justin James signing off. Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Night, guys.